we can start over in relationships, no matter what our perspectives are and what our spirits are, but it is beautiful because every day is a new day. And it's the legacy that we're doing now, in these relationships. It start with us, our children see it, and then they pass it down to their children's children. So yes, it's very important keeping the connection.
Allow yourself to be a part of the family as they see fit. But the parents are the ones that's going to dictate what that looks like.
And initially, that was hard, trying to be a parent to a 18-year-old at the time, 17, 18-year-old that lost her mom. And, me, now I am looking to make sure that I'm not crossing boundaries, or I don't want her to feel like I am trying to take the place of her mom, because I can never take that place. But just getting her to understand that I'm there for you. If you need that mother figure to talk to about anything, it doesn't matter what it is.
It could be the simplest thing.
Yeah, simple.
The simplest thing. It doesn't have to be anything that's big and extravagant. It's the simplest thing. Because you know what? Those are the lasting memories.
Hello.
Hi. Hey, everyone. Thank you for coming back to our podcast. We are the SOS podcast, which stands for
Starting Over
Sisters.
Where we talk about starting over in so many facets of one's life. And this is our perspective. I am Vera.
Katina.
Grace.
And we are all social workers, which is an interesting concept. Years. We're here just to encourage you that starting over does not mean it is a bad thing to do. It doesn't mean that it's the end. It's definitely the beginning. And it's just a new chapter in your life. So with that being said, we are starting a 6-part series in this section, and we are going to be talking about relationships. Woo!
Yeah. Relationships.
Starting over relationships. There's so many facets of relationships. Yes. So many. So we're going to be doing the 6-part series and part of the podcast, and we are so looking forward to what we talk about and how we get through the whole process of starting over in a relationship. So tonight we're going to have Grace tell us about what we're going to talk about.
Today we are going to focus on relationships, just like Vera said. Their relationships is definitely a foundation of how we interact with others and how much we impact others as well as our own self. We'll start with parenting, and we'll go to sibling dynamics. We'll go to extended family relationships, and we just want you guys to continue. We'll talk about in-laws, and also being a bonus parent or a child or stepchild. So we're here for you guys to just enjoy and relate and release. Join us.
So I am going to start off with questions. So we can all just chime in, because I think everything that we talk about in this particular instance is so relatable to all of us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna talk about parenting. All of us are parents. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yes.
We are all at different stages of parenting.
Mm-hmm.
From the very young to the old adult that needed to leave our house a long time ago. But that's another story.
Yeah.
So one of the questions I want to, for us to talk about is, like, can you share a moment like when you felt you needed to start over in your parenting approach? Like, what prompted that change?
Mm-hmm.
And, how did it affect your relationship with your children?
Well, for me, Vera, I had to think about the age difference between my girls. I have one that's 33, one that's 18. 18. And with that, I had to think about how I parent the oldest one when she was younger versus this one. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't do that same type of parenting with the youngest one that I did with the oldest one. And mainly because, things have changed so much, and, our kids are now exposed to so much, in school, or, now we have social media, so they're exposed to a lot. So when it came to certain, if it was certain topics, certain things I needed to discuss with her, the way I would talk to them, to the oldest one when she was younger, I had to change that. I couldn't talk to the youngest one the same way. So with the youngest one, I had to be a little bit more patient with her. I had to be a little bit more soft-spoken with her as well, because she doesn't, accept, or, she just can't accept, like if I was to, I don't know, if I was to use, big terminology with her, trying to explain something. So I had to just come down to her level, when it comes to explaining her situations. And, it was hard at first because I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was talking to her to where she understood the message. But, apparently she didn't. And what made me kind of feel like that is because the stuff that she was doing, she kept doing it over and over and over and over. And I'm like, okay, I said this, I don't know how many times, so I had to take another approach and say, okay, well, let me maybe, do it this way. Let me talk to her this way. Or let me text her, because, she will get it.
Yes.
Let me text her. Let me put up some sticky notes around the house so she can get it,
Right.
There were some things I had to just be creative about in order for her to get it, but she got it.
Right.
And, and I always think about that, not only with, our kids, but with our patients as well.
Right.
Sometimes they don't get it. So we have to, change our words, or, how we talk to them another way. But for parenting, definitely with my youngest one, Lord have mercy.
I can really attest to that, Katina, because we have 6 children. And I won't say the oldest, but they're in their 30s. They're not 8, we don't have kids. But they're in their 30s, right? And the youngest one is 15. And I say all the time, it was really starting over. Because between the 5th one and the 4th one, it's 12 years. That's a 12-year difference, right?
Yeah.
And the last 2, who are, they're 15 and the other one's going to be 20, 15 and 20. Between those 2, the older 4, it's totally different. Totally different. Wow. Like these 2000 babies are not the same. They're not the same as the 1900s.
No.
1990, 80, they ain't the same. Not the same. And you talk about social media and stuff. It plays like a very vital part of their lives for the younger ones as opposed to the older ones.
Right.
And I had to change the whole parenting approach. Can't talk to them too long. Because that attention span
it's gone.
It is gone. You might be able to have my parents used to give me lectures. You might be able to lecture the older one, right?
The older ones,
The
right.
older ones. But the younger ones, it doesn't work the same. So it's like knowing that, recognizing that, and knowing that you have to do it a totally different way, and
Right.
seeing those dynamics between the two age groups, and like mind blowing, because you don't really know it, but you know it, because you're like, wow, I didn't have this. And every child is unique, right?
Yes.
All of our children are unique, right?
Right.
Each one is unique in their own way.
Right.
But there are those similarities, and the similarities between the age group is amazing, because the older kids who are adults in comparison to these two who are, still in their teens, it's a different, as I say, it's a different breed. They're different breeds. They come from a different level of thought processes.
Right.
And we have to, change our whole thought processes and catch up, basically, with the times of them, because they're exposed, like you said, they're exposed to so much so early, and you're trying to catch up to make sure that they're not, too far ahead than you. And that's my experience with the kids.
So yeah, I have a 4 and 5-year-old. So it's definitely just worrying about society, because it's totally different out here. Like you said, social media, and worrying that I won't guide them the right way, and worried about social media being their teacher, pretty much. So especially that's a word that I have, because so much, like you guys said, everything is different now. It's a different attention span, and I can see that too. They're small. I'm like, okay, this is happening now, but it's a difference. It's kind of like, wow, because a lot of people say that they catch on fast, but then it's just like things are more microwavable, I would say, right? So I am worried about how much society will be actually teaching them, but I know that I will have to be aware and stand up. So just not wanting to do wrong. I know there's no book or anything, no guide, but just overall worrying as a parent of young children. So so it's kind of, that's just that unknown feeling, the uneasiness. But I'm glad I'm listening to you guys, and I have you guys, and but.
All right, what advice would you give to someone who wants to reset their relationship with a sibling, starting over your sibling relationship, basically? Have you ever had to navigate something starting fresh?
I can say stepsister. Okay. We're siblings, but a stepsister. And there was some issues, there's always issues with your parents, as they get older, and you're trying to discuss these things with siblings, and they take things the wrong way when you're asking them either about life insurance policies, or, what is your plan to do with mom and dad?
Yeah.
I can say during that time, there were some issues with a sibling, and I just believe in forgiveness, and just healing. Right. So I didn't hold a grudge or anything, because that's just not me. For me, it's more so just having that one-on-one conversation with that sibling, instead of all of us, to say, okay, this is what's going on. Maybe, we didn't say it right to you, or address the issue, or maybe you felt like, he was coming at you a certain way, but that wasn't. And so just having that open communication with that sibling, and getting them to understand, what was being said, has really helped me and my sibling.
I would say, for me, between my siblings, okay, so like I said, my mom had me rather late.
Mm-hmm.
All of my siblings were adults. They were like out of the house. So my brothers were older. So it's just my sister and I, who are like 8 years apart. With that being said, my brothers they all thought they were my dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they were my father. Like, you know, hey, our dad is still here. You know, like, I think I can listen to him. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. But you still want to be respectful because they were really older than me. So it was like it was an interesting dynamic. You couldn't be like disrespectful in any way, shape, or form, like how you see them doing on TV nowadays.
Right.
But it was, I would say that it was still a good thing. It didn't hurt.
Oh.
It didn't hurt, but it was a good thing in that we learned how to, I'm gonna say for myself, like learn more of being respectful towards adults and recognizing that I'm still considered the child. I'm the baby of the bunch anyway, right? So I'm still gonna be the child. And as I got older, but I was still considered the baby. Still the baby, even as adults, with children, grown kids, still the baby. And they still call me baby, and I'm fine. You know, I'm baby girl.
They always gonna protect you.
All day long. All day long, yeah. But how do you feel like, you know, with your role as a sibling, that you have all the responsibility yourself, right? Despite the age in your family.
Yeah.
So, how does that work for you?
Right. So I have a sibling, a brother that's he's a little older than me. Everybody think I'm older, you know, but everything, because even with just decisions and different things that we had to do for our mom, and everything falls on me. And I don't know, sometimes they say it's because he's a male, I'm a female, sometimes it falls on a girl more. So I see that a lot too. So to everything too, like, you know, everything, every decision, this and that. And a lot of times I've had to reset because it can be overwhelming, you know, because sometimes you want to lean on somebody, but you know, you are the one to lean on, right? So, so sometimes I've had to reset, you know, a lot of times, because a lot of times very hard decisions will come up, hard conversations, frustrating conversations.
Yeah.
Start to get a little bitter, like you're like, okay, I'm getting tired of this. You know what's going on. So it's so many times I had to reset, and we had to sit down and you know, our foundation was our mom, and you know, parents are overall. We have to get back to the basics, right? So and know what connected us. So it's a lot of resetting, emotional reset and everything. So that's a constant thing that I have to do.
I would say that I think like our relationships continue to evolve.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And I believe that it just continues to evolve, and it's a continuous process if we allow it to.
Yeah, I agree.
If we allow it to. Because, you know, we could just be like, I'm tired. I don't even want to work on this no more. We've been doing this for 20 years. 25 years. Ain't nothing changed. I don't want to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it can be, because there are people that are those type, you know, and just keeping it real, there are those that be like, I'm tired. Like, we've been arguing for 25 years.
Yeah. You see that a lot too in families, different dynamics. Yeah.
When we're talking about, you know, all these dynamics of relationships and family, but how do you feel when it comes to like your extended family? You know, we all have that extended family, you know, so what challenges would you say come with starting over in relationships with extended family members, such as like your cousins, your aunts, uncles, And can you share an experience where you had to rebuild or redefine those ties?
Ooh. I'm gonna say. Okay, so remember, I am the baby out of 5.
Right.
And it really got down to the nitty gritty when my mom got sick, and had to make a decision on like, what are we gonna do with her? Because she's diagnosed with dementia, and with dementia you have to have a caregiver basically. So at the time, she was with me in Georgia and was trying to find somewhere, where she could go. And there was no place that could take her in Georgia with her insurance, like nowhere. And had to go and find someplace else. So, I'm asking my siblings, like, what do you guys want to do? What do y'all think? And they were like, and everyone was like, well, whatever you want to do.
And you the baby.
I'm the baby out of 5, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
oh my goodness. Yeah.
Okay. So talk about, we just been talking about like everything is put on you.
Put on you. Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, well, I hope I'm doing the right thing, because
Right.
everybody is like, well, whatever you want to do. And the other part of it is, I'm a social worker. So they just figure.
Oh, that's like, ding, 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 okay.
Okay, thank you. Right. Hands up.
Yeah.
Hands up. Social worker.
Right.
Social worker sibling.
Yeah.
She got it.
She got all the answers.
Call me when it's done. That type of thing, right? So it was, and I say all of that to say because during that process, one of my mom's sisters she was angry with me for a while. Because I had to find some place to put her. And I had to put her, I'm in Georgia, found a place all the way in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Wow.
To go and stay. That type of thing. But then, her sister was, mad at me, my aunt, and it was all that thing. So, like, there was a time, like, they weren't even talking to me. My aunt and the kids and stuff like that. Like, it put a strain. But nobody knows what you go through unless you're doing it yourself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean? And because of that, we weren't talking for a while, and we're close. Like, my family's close, even though it's extended. Like my cousins and my sister and my brothers, like they grew up together, and this type of thing. Like, we've all hung out, slept in the same bed, type of thing. You know what I mean? And to have that relationship severed, that was pretty devastating, especially at the time that it was, because we need all the support that we can. This is, no one has experienced this in our family, but we're the first to go through it, and it was a couple of years that we weren't talking to each other, and to go and start that process over because of unfortunately, it was the death of my mom that brought us all back together. That thing, and it was hard. It was difficult, and it was a time for us to be able to a lot of introspection, because I started to doubt myself. Did I do the right thing? Did I do the right thing? Was I right about it? Should I have done something differently? And there was a lot of that doubt, questioning what I did, my own self-doubt. And that was difficult. That was hard. Yeah.
So you and Grace have something in common when it comes to your mothers, So Grace, can you tell me how difficult has it been for you to stay connected with your family? Especially when we talk about strong people in our family when they pass away. And I know your mom, Grace, was a strong person as well. So how difficult has it been for you to stay connected again, like I said, with your family when that strong person dies?
My situation is a little different. Like, Sarah brought, it appears to brought Miss Vera family together, but in our situation is more difficult because my mom was a very strong woman, and we mostly was connected by her. Like, like it was like aunts and aunties, and even though they was different, they was all in different states and everything. But she was, to me, was the connection in a lot.
Yeah.
So in our case, it was just a little different. So now it's kind of like, oh, I haven't talked to so and so, but it's because mama passed, and that's what it is. She was the link to all of them. So it's kind of harder, but it also made me more conscious and more aware. I need to reach out even more as well, because a lot of times families are, scarce when someone passed. Like, even I remember a great aunt passing, but to me, I feel like when she was alive, that's when we had the most family reunions and families connected. And now we don't have family reunions anymore. And I'm like, what's different? Oh, okay. Even like with my great aunt siblings, I remember when all of them passed, then you don't have those gatherings no more. It's kind of strange, especially with my mom, So that lets me know that it's more vital, I guess, for our younger generation to keep it going, those traditions, because family, which is, I love how Vera family is, but in certain families, for some reason, it's kind of becoming scarce a little bit. It's kind of like the relationships is becoming more immediate, I would say. I don't know, it's like, oh, we just getting together with our little family, or even with holidays, just to be like pockets of families. But I remember back in the day, it was like all of us, aunties, great aunts, cousins, first, second, fifth cousins, all together. But it's hard when that strong person passed. But it's getting more, it's gotten more strained, I guess, because of, our society.
Yeah, this is so good to hear each one of our stories, because families are, different. And you share your story, Vera and Grace. And then I look at my family and how different we are as far as staying connected and together. Because, yes, we've had strong people in our family to pass, but we kept it going. Yeah. So, like when we talk about, Grace, you talked about having events and stuff like that. So with my family, we're constantly, doing things, and we're constantly reaching out to each other, if it's calling via text to say, hey, we're going to be doing this, and inviting everybody. It's just like Christmas. People know, my house is the Christmas house.
Yeah. Same here.
So, this year, it was like me bringing it back, because a couple of years ago, I was redoing some things in the house, had to put it on pause, and everybody would ask every year, okay, are we going to do it Christmas at your house? Are we going to do it? And I was like, no, not yet, y'all, just hold on, just hold tight. So this year I had to bring it back, and everybody was so excited. So, I have like 20 people in the house. They all spend the night. They all, bring blow up mattresses, and we just have a good time.
Yeah. And, it sounds so familiar. And in our family, like you said, your house is like the house for Christmas. Everybody coming to our house for Thanksgiving. I love the fact that all of our kids be here. And we got the extended family, because then my sister and her children, and then the grandchildren. And, if they can all come, it's phenomenal. Like, we're planning a trip to Orlando, like our mini family reunion. So,
okay.
It's myself, my sister, her grandkids, the great grandkids, my kids, then my cousins who are in Orlando, and then there's some that's in Tampa. And, we all trying to get, we're in the group. I have 3 different group texts. Okay. I got the Orlando crew, I have the Fort Lauderdale crew, and then I got my kids. So I got to, try to make sure that we all on the same page type of thing, making sure that we're getting all of this together. So I try to pride myself in, with the whole extended family, because we basically starting over because of the incident that has transpired with my mom and stuff, we want to make sure that we don't lose contact with one another.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to do as many things as possible. Like we had Thanksgiving in Orlando about 2 years ago at my cousin's house. And it was so good just to see everybody, everyone come together to just enjoy our time together.
And that encourages me. I guess in my situation, I would have to be the one to do it, because, my mother has 6 brothers and sisters. So, even though aunts in North Carolina, we have one in Mississippi and different things. So I guess I would have to be the one. So that encourages me, I try, so yeah, that's very inspiring. So that's really good.
Yeah, and start off small, Grace. It doesn't have to be anything big. If it's just, hey, you going to, back where you were raised, and y'all get together and go to a restaurant, Yeah. Just a fellowship or whatever.
Yeah.
It don't have to be anything big. But then gradually, get there.
Yeah. You don't want to do too much.
Too much.
I ain't trying to clean up either. It could be the simplest thing.
Yeah, simple.
The simplest thing. It doesn't have to be anything that's big and extravagant. It's the simplest thing. Because you know what? Those are the lasting memories.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Those are the lasting memories.
So I know we done got off the subject a little bit, not much, but just sharing all our experience, with family, which is good. Like I said, it gave Grace something to think about and maybe implement within her own extended family, which is good, So when we're talking about starting over with your in-laws, I know we all got in-laws, and that can be very complex. So what steps would you recommend taking to rebuild or strengthen a relationship? And what should one avoid when we're talking about your in-laws?
One of the things I think is important is that, like, with your spouse, you all being a united front when it comes to your in-laws. Because we love our people. We love our people. And we just love them. But we can love them from a distance. You do understand that. You do.
Yes.
Oh, right. Very good. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It says in the Bible that when a man takes up his wife and leaves the house, and it's something like that. It's in there, right? Come up and leave. You leave the house. We're leaving. So we're starting our new little life. But, I love our family. We love them together. We want them to be the most important part of our lives. However, I married you.
Right.
I ain't married like all other people. But I married you. And I'm going to respect you and your relationship with them. But, we come together first, and I want us to be together. If something comes up, we need to be in alignment. We need to be in alignment, and we need to be in agreement for what that is. Whether it's how we raise the children, whether we have Thanksgiving dinner at my house, or we go to your mama house, or we go to your. It's okay, but we're in agreement. Then I'm gonna bring the mac and cheese every year.
Please bring it.
Yes, I'm bring it every year. And you are with me on this, right? And I think the key to it is having that open dialogue of we're united. We came together as one because we are married, and we be one not only just with our children, but in everything. Your mama, my mama, your daddy, and my daddy. Your auntie and all that. That's beautiful, but we together. We together.
I definitely agree. Being able to stand as a unit, as a partner. Because I know a lot of times those boundaries are really important.
Yes.
How we raising our children, and And even with just the way that they raised, and then I'm more, you're conscious a little bit of like, especially with my in-law as being a different culture, so it's kind of like, this is how I do it, and what's the fine line, and and but still trying to be respectful, but knowing that that the boundary is really, really important, because a lot of times, just because we don't do things that they do, sometimes some people think it's wrong, but we have to stand in what we in our parenting, because that's kind of what that first question is about. It's kind of like trying to navigate our own self through our parenting, but when another dynamic comes in, that can be difficult. But just boundaries and with respect, and respect to ourselves is that we're mom, respect to us too, and hopefully we respect it as well, so both ways, that we deserve respect as well versus we give respect. So that's important. So
when your spouse doesn't even talk with their in-laws, or they don't even get along with their in-laws, how do you navigate that whole process? Because you're starting over a whole nother relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, that could definitely be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, that is. You know what? I think about when you, not only in-laws, but their own parent.
Yeah.
That dynamic. It's like, how do you work around that? Do you stay in a relationship or do you leave a relationship? Because that could be something that I'm not used to. If my partner is one that don't, have that good relationship with his mother or father, but then I have a good relationship with my mom. So I'm looking at them like, you don't talk to your mom every day? Right. You don't call your mom? You don't go visit your mom? So it's like, okay, well, help me understand why you don't. Okay. So I won't be looking at you like you're not my person. I can't be with you because I'm not used to that, So,
yeah,
I mean,
that's a good point. Well, that's so true. So many different perspectives, it's just, I tell you, so that's wonderful. But so, I'm going to ask a question, kind of think like bonus parent or stepchild. So what has been your approach starting over in your role as a bonus parent or with a bonus child? What key lessons have you learned about building trust and respect in this dynamic?
Experiencing that now with she is 19, she'll be 20 this year. I've known her for about, I guess, 2 years now. And initially, that was hard, trying to be a parent to a 18-year-old at the time, 17, 18-year-old that lost her mom. Okay. And, me, now I am looking to make sure that I'm not crossing boundaries, or I don't want her to feel like I am trying to take the place of her mom, because I can never take that place. Yeah. But just getting her to understand that I'm there for you. If you need that mother figure to talk to about anything, it doesn't matter what it is. We can have that open line of communication and trust. So it was about building that trust, which was hard. I think more so for her, building trust, of course, in me. But once we got past that, the lines of communication would open up. And I mean, when I say open up, it opened up about stuff that I was like, girl, I don't want to talk about that right now. Or I don't want to hear about this. No, don't tell me this.
Wow.
But she came with it, and I was proud of her.
Yeah.
That she felt like she can trust me versus her own father to come in and lay some heavy stuff on me.
Yeah.
And to say, what do I do? I mean, it was, like I said, it was awkward at first, but the more we hung around each other, the more we had our own one-on-one time together. It wasn't a forced thing. It was more, hey, I'm going here. Do you want to go? Yes or no. That's really all it was. Or, hey, I'm cooking. If you want to come, you can. Here's the garage door code. If you want to come eat. So, I mean, I threw it out there, but I let her make her own decision. And, like I said, it didn't, if she came, that was fine. And that was explained. If you come, fine. If you don't understand, no pressure. But I just want to let you know, it's here. Or if you want to go with me, we can. And now, she calls me sometimes, hey, I want to go. Where you going?
I love it.
Our family is a blended family, but my kids are my kids. And I was fortunate to meet my children when they were smaller, a little bit smaller. We had to go through a lot because it was different different mothers. And, we have similar cultures because I come from a West Indian family. My husband is West Indian as well. So we know how, certain things are in, our culture type of thing. But for me, there was no such thing as like step. None of my kids are stepchildren. They know that. We've never introduced each other as step kids. Never had that. They call me mom or mom. Now I'm honored that you want to do that. And that took a while. And they ain't happened overnight now. But this is Katina talk about building the trust. They knew that they could trust me. And our relationship grew. Now we had the bumps in the road.
Of course.
But did not give up on one another. We did not give up on one another, did not give up on the relationship. And it was a process. It was a process. And, as the kids get older, they're adults now, and then, we had children of our own, which, and I would say just brought the family closer together because they, everybody that's their, their brothers and sisters.
Right.
Nobody says that that's my stepbrother or that's my stepsister. Type of thing. That's my sister, that's my brother.
Right.
And I appreciate that. And I'm not saying that step has like a negative connotation to it, but it does. This is my opinion. My family, my mother and father, we were blended, but I never knew. Like I didn't know that we didn't have the same mother and father. I ain't know nothing about it because of how we were raised. That's there was no that's your half brother, half sister. That's where I got mine from, and I passed it down to my kids and to my children.
From your experience as bonus mom, what is one piece of advice you would give? Say your bonus children, or bonus daughter, bonus son, bonus children, when they come in the home, to the new home, are blending together.
Mm-hmm.
I would say be open, right? Like just be open, and expect the unexpected. Like you allow yourself to be a part of the family as they see fit, but the parents are the ones that's going to dictate what that looks like. Parents, like let the child be. It's all a growth process for everybody that's involved.
Right.
And as soon as you can acknowledge that and know that it's not going to be roses every day, it's cool, but we're still growing in this process.
Be yourself. Again, we're all different.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, she's different to where she likes to stay to herself. But she's starting to come out of that shell because as she see when she's around my family, my family, they just all over the place. They talk, they gonna talk to you. Come on, honey, do this. They gonna grab your baby. Come here, I need you to go to my car. Here are my keys, and I need you to go get this. And so when they're asking her to do stuff, or they asking her just about herself, you can see this expression on her face, like they talking to me, they asking me this, But that's just how my family is.
Yeah.
So the only thing I've ever told her to be is just be yourself. You don't have to put on for any of us.
I love that. As a child coming in, I remember a lot of times I would compare myself. So that's beautiful. That's good advice. And that's good advice, but by you and Vera, y'all saying, they are able to be free and safe to be themselves. And they're coming in as, you don't look at them as anything different but your children. That says a lot in that. You set the atmosphere. I like that. You set the atmosphere. So that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing, you guys. So I'm going to ask another question. You guys, in your experience, what are the essential elements for successfully starting over in family relationships? How do you set the stage for positive changes? Kind of like a piggyback, I would say, in a sense. So.
Openness.
Yeah.
Communication.
Yeah.
Flexibility.
Say that part again. That part right there. That part right there.
Flexibility, being patient, setting boundaries. Yes, as I said earlier, when we were talking about siblings, forgiveness and healing, building that trust.
Yeah.
We definitely have to continue to do that with anything. And just having that good support system.
I'm going to say again, give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Be forgiving for yourself. But I think sometimes we are our own worst enemy, and we are our own worst critic. And we're not going to get it right. We're not going to get it right 100% of the time. But that's a part of us being human.
Right.
But give yourself grace when it's not right. Because it may not be right now, but it'll be right later. It'll be right later. So just give yourself the grace for that. And know that, every day is another day. Just to, try again. Try again.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. And it's the legacy that we're doing now, in these relationships. It start with us, our children see it, and then they pass it down to their children's children. So it's very important keeping the connections of relationships, especially family, and and I like what Ms. Vera said about evolving. All of this is evolving, and it goes down, it goes down, goes down. Well, guys, it's such a beautiful topic. It kind of gets you to really, really think about, how we interact, how important parenting is, down to all the way to extended family, siblings. So it really kind of get those perspectives and things that need to be revisited, because it's very important. So I really enjoyed this topic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And knowing that we can start over in relationships, no matter what our perspectives are and what our experiences are, but it is beautiful because every day is a new day. So
we just want to say thank you all for coming to join us for another episode of the SOS podcast. We are looking forward to continuing the conversation of the relationship, starting over in various relationships. We're going to talk about starting over in marriage, dating, other things coming up. So, just stay tuned. Until the next time, we appreciate you. We thank you. And know that starting over is not the end, it's the beginning. It's the new
That's
chapter.
right.
New chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Until next time, we will see y'all.
Yeah. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.